Hi everyone, welcome back to 3 News Now. I'm Stephanie Haney. It's Monday, February 1st. Thanks for choosing to be here for your top stories from WKYC.com and our WKYC app. And with it being February 1st, we are kicking off the start of Black History Month. Our Romney Smith will be having daily coverage about Black history tied specifically to Ohio. You'll be able to catch that at 5 p.m. in What's New, and that's in addition to other weekly Black History Month stories that we'll be having across all of our shows, so make sure you tune in for that. This week on my 3 Things to Know with Stephanie Haney podcast, the topic is anti-racism, and I had the opportunity to speak with ThirdSpace Action Lab co-founder and CEO Evelyn Burnett, and we talked about what the term anti-racism means. Now, it can be a bit confusing, especially if you've not heard that term before, but there is in fact a difference between being not racist and anti-racist. So we have a long conversation about that. We also talk about what some blind spots might be and how we can all do work to be better allies. So if you want to check that out, you need to search for 3 Things to Know with Stephanie Haney on your favorite podcast platform. You can also search for that on WKYC.com and the WKYC app because it's linked there, and it's on every podcast platform. Now we have some breaking news. Dustin Diamond, who many people know as Samuel Screech Powers from Saved by the Bell, has passed away at the age of 44. He passed away from complications due to stage 4 lung cancer, which we recently learned he had been battling. He had come out on January 14th with a statement on his Facebook page letting people know, confirming that he had been diagnosed with stage 4 lung cancer. And his agent confirmed today that he passed away today. His agent said Dustin did not suffer. He did not have to lie submerged in pain. For that, we are grateful. Now we turn to an update here in Cleveland from the Cleveland branch of the FBI. There's a man with possible ties to Summit County that is wanted for an alleged assault on a federal officer during the Washington, D.C. riot that happened on January 6th. So the Cleveland division of the FBI has released 2 photos. We have those on WKYC.com and the WKYC app. It's a man in face paint. He's wearing red, blue, and black face paint. His face is clearly visible. You can see those on WKYC.com. There is a reward being offered, a $5,000 reward for a tip that leads to the identification of the man. So if you have information related to this person, you're asked to call the Cleveland FBI. That number is 1-877-FBI-OHIO. Pretty easy to remember that. The numbers there are 324-6446. Again, that's 1-877-FBI-OHIO, which is 324-6446. Or you can call Summit County Crime Stoppers. That number is 330-434-COPS, and that's 2677. Again, to call the Summit County Crime Stoppers, that number is 330-434-COPS, 2677. Authorities do believe that he has ties to Summit County, but couldn't release any more details about those potential ties at this time. Now, across Ohio today, teachers and staff of K through 12 schools will be getting vaccinated. That's starting today. Of course, that happened a little bit earlier in Cincinnati, which we knew was going to happen, but the rollout will start here in our area with Mahoning, Summit, and Medina counties. There'll be about 500 schools getting the vaccine this week. On Thursday, Medina schools will be closed for mass vaccinations. Now, Cuyahoga County will not be getting its vaccines until the week of February 8th. If you want to know, by the way, where your district falls throughout the month of February in terms of when it will be able to get vaccines, we have that linked on WKYC.com. Just scroll down. You can check on that where it says week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4 in the article. Just click on that and you'll be able to see where your district falls in terms of the teachers and the staff getting vaccinated. Now, this is all part of the plan for public schools to return to at least partial in-person schooling by March 1st. And Governor Mike DeWine has said all but one school district in Ohio has committed to making that happen. But the vaccination of the teachers and staff is not happening without its hiccups. For one, as the governor said, that there's just not enough vaccinations available to do all schools this week. So, as I said, Cuyahoga County not getting those vaccines until February 8th. And also, Akron City Schools told 3 News that it needs 3,000 doses, but only 780 are on the way. So there's definitely a gap between what's needed and what's available, but the state is working as best as it can to get those vaccines to those teachers so that students can return as quickly as possible to in-person instruction. Now let's take a look at the latest numbers for COVID-19 here in the state of Ohio. These come from the Ohio Department of Health. In the last 24 hours, we've seen 3,287 new reported cases of COVID-19, and unfortunately, 55 Ohioans have lost their lives related to COVID-19, and those deaths have been reported in the last 24 hours. When we take a look at the positive rate, we have the data from Saturday that shows 8.4% of all COVID-19 tests came back positive, and the 7-day average remains at 8%. That is as of Saturday, January 30th. Good news when it comes to hospitalizations. We did see 223 new hospitalizations in the past 24 hours, and the total number of people hospitalized right now, 2,521. Now, that number is up from Sunday, but that's the 7th day below 3,000 total hospitalizations. And if you've been paying attention to what Governor DeWine said, he said when they reevaluate the number of hospitalizations in 2 weeks, that they could potentially push the curfew back to midnight or get rid of it altogether. So those criteria were 7 days below 3,000 active hospitalizations to push the statewide curfew back to midnight. And if they get below 2,500 for 7 days in a row, which we are now just teetering right on the edge of with the 2,521 today, then the curfew could be completely lifted. So keeping a close eye on that. Now, he did say those numbers won't be evaluated for 2 weeks from Thursday. So about a week and a half left there. But this is 7 days in a row below 3,000. So if that holds, we could see that curfew pushed back to at least midnight. If it drops lower, potentially even completely lifted. Now, right now, of those people in the hospital, 652 of them are being treated in an ICU, and we've seen 19 new ICU admissions in the last 24 hours. And as it pertains to hospital beds that are available, 33% of the state's hospital beds are available for people in need. Now let's take a look at the national and the global numbers for COVID-19. These come from Johns Hopkins University. Across the U.S., the total number of COVID cases is 26,215,984. And the total number of COVID deaths across the U.S. is 441,722. With 4% of the global population, the U.S. is leading in COVID-19 cases with 25.4% of the global COVID cases and 19.8% of the global COVID deaths. Globally, the numbers are now at 103,221,369 reported cases of COVID, and the total number of deaths is now 2,232,563. Now, because of COVID-19 concerns, we are learning from our Cleveland baseball team that the spring training facility in Goodyear, Arizona will not be open to fans this year. Now, what we're talking about are for spring training workouts. These are according to Major League Baseball guidelines. This isn't a call being made by the team. This is a call being made by the greater Major League Baseball organization. We don't yet know about spring training games at Goodyear Ballpark in Arizona. The team said today that a policy has yet to be announced, but the city of Goodyear does continue to work with health and safety officials and Major League Baseball on that matter. So right now, our Cleveland baseball team's first spring training game is scheduled for February 27th. This is the Cactus League, and the leaders of that league have asked Major League Baseball to delay the start of spring training. They're worried about Arizona's current COVID-19 numbers. On Sunday, Major League Baseball proposed a 154-game regular season schedule to the players and a spring training start date of March 22nd, which, if you will note, that is after the currently scheduled first spring training game of February 27th. So it's actually expected that the players will reject that proposal, which could delay the start of the regular season to April 28th. But this does appear to be a sign that spring training will be delayed. So we'll be keeping a watch on that. And in the basketball world, there is love in the air for Cleveland Cavaliers star Kevin Love, because he's just announced his engagement to Sports Illustrated swimsuit cover model Kate Bock. On Sunday night, Kevin Love posted the announcement on Instagram, and he wrote, "Souls tend to go back to who feels like home. My fiancé, the joy of my life," in a sweet post. And Kate, on her own Instagram, posted, "Well, this was the best birthday surprise I could have ever imagined. I couldn't be happier to have been asked to be a love. Heart bursting all day and night." Of course, his teammates had lots of congratulations for him, and former teammate LeBron James also commented, said, "Congrats, my brother," to Kevin and his now new fiancée, Kate. They've been dating since 2016 when they met in New York, and now they will be starting this new chapter together. So congratulations to that happy couple. Now, let's take a look at the current weather situation. We got a little bit of a snow over the weekend. There's snow hitting other parts of the U.S. So this is time for a reminder from PETA, People for the Ethical Treatment of Animals, with animal safety tips for the cold weather. First, PETA says, bring your animals indoors. This is not the time to be having animals outdoors in this cold weather. And second, this might sound a little silly, but PETA recommends that you put a coat and booties on your animal. The booties are very important because with that salt on sidewalks, that can be really harmful to a pet's paws. And also the extreme cold can be really harmful to a pet's paws. Similarly, like we talk about in the summer when it gets very hot, if you put your hand down there and you feel that pavement and you react to it, imagine how your pet's going to feel with those little paws on the bare ground. So keep that in mind. And then also, don't forget about the birds. There are birds outdoors, of course, right now. And when it gets really cold, their water sources freeze up. So this is a good time to put drinking water outside in a non-metal bowl and break the ice a couple times a day to help our feathered friends who are out there. PETA also asks, if you see an animal that's kept chained or penned outside 24/7 without shelter, you can call your local law enforcement. Now, here's a reminder. One of my Legally Speaking segments, I am a lawyer in the state of Ohio, if you were unaware, was about cold weather laws. And one of those laws is it is illegal to leave your pets out in the cold. Now, there aren't hard and fast regulations about this when it comes to time or temperature, but the standard is if your pet is outside in a situation where it seems like it could get sick or suffer, you could go to jail for 90 days, and you could also have to pay a $750 fine. And also, it's harmful for the pet, so don't do that. Okay, another pet story before we let you go here. This is a sweet one. There was an Ohio dog with special needs who really won America's heart over. His name is Jack. He's an American bully. He's 9 months old, about 30 pounds, and he is a special needs dog. He's got spina bifida, so he's had a bunch of surgeries. He came to a rescue group called Peach's Bully Rescue here in Ohio, and he had to have emergency surgery. And he had multiple surgeries. He did recover well from them, but he will have to use a diaper for the rest of his life because of the spina bifida. He just doesn't have control over those functions. So someone had reached out to the rescue and set up a meet and greet, which is common in an adoption from a rescue situation. Well, they no-showed. They stood up little Jack the bully. So the group posted on Facebook and said that Jack was very sad when his meet and greet person was a no-show, no-call. He had gotten a bath, he got his fancy harness on, he had a fresh diaper and a dedicated foster team that drove 40 minutes each way just to make that happen, and then it ended in a huge disappointment for little Jack. But the rescue group said, your family will come, sweet boy, and when they do, they will be perfect. Also reminding people to respect the fact that the people who work at these rescues are often volunteers. They're just trying to give these animals their best chances. So to set a meeting and then not show up, not great form. Of course, we don't know what happened in that person's life. Hopefully everything's okay there. But when the group posted this, it's been shared more than 26,000 times, and Peach's Bully Rescue told 3 News they have received close to 300 adoption requests for sweet little Jack the Bully. So somebody in there is going to be his forever home, and they're going through those applications now. Now, if you're interested in an adoption from the Peach's Bully Rescue, we've got the links to that on WKYC.com, so you can check that out. All right, that is it for your 3 News Now update for Monday, February 1st. I cannot believe that we are in February of 2021, but we are. I'll see you next up on What's New with your trending stories in Clicking in Cleveland. And remember, check out that podcast, 3 Things to Know with Stephanie Haney. Subscribe, leave a rating, and a review, please. That would be super helpful so we can connect with more people here in Northeast Ohio. And by the way, here's a reminder, which I haven't reminded you in a while. This is a podcast. You can get 3 News Now as a podcast. Just search for 3 News Now with Stephanie Haney. 3 News is one word, and it's the number 3, not the letters spelled out. All right, everyone, enjoy the rest of your afternoon. Stay safe and be well, and I'll see you back here tomorrow. I'm Stephanie Haney.